Welcome to this disappointing episode of PlayPSVR, the podcast. I'm your host, Adam, with co-host Alex. Alex, why do you think this would be a disappointing episode for the listeners? That's wrong. It's because not Alex and I are disappointing, but it's because one of the biggest games of the year, Alex, is a huge disappointment to me, to the point where I would rather be sitting on my toilet playing Pokemon Blue on my Game Boy, taking a 3-hour, 38-minute poopy. That's right. Tetris Effect is the poopy in this scenario. I'm a little shaken up about it. Everything hurts. My heart hurts. My knee hurts. My back hurts. Regardless, let's just open up this diarrhea sundae with some root beer on our Dookie ice cream. What are you drinking tonight, Alex?
Quick question. If it hurts when you poop, is it because you're spitting out like a T piece or an L piece instead of one of those straight 4 Tetris pieces?
It's probably because I'm listening to some of the horrible soundtracks that sound like nails on chalkboard. And then, yeah, you're right. I'm going to guess it's one of those pieces that go down to the right and then down again.
A Z.
Well, if you turn it that way, but if you turn it the way I just talked about, then it's a
lightning bolt.
2 L's or something. Anyhow, yes, it's not great. Thankfully, my poop is a little more malleable, so it doesn't come out as rigid. But not everyone is that lucky, you know. So
yeah.
I got something to be thankful for. Although wasting $40 on that game isn't one of them.
So let's not bury the lead, Adam. Yeah, Gamer Juice. My Gamer Juice this week is Blue Moon Winter Wheat. Winter wheat. I did not know what this was going to be going into it. It's Blue Moon, so that's a beer, and it doesn't taste great. So that's my review of it.
That's hilarious. Well, so my Gamer Juice of the week, I've pushed the boundary a little bit, Alex. This is it's not a full-on liquid. It is a blue raspberry icy. So you can purchase these at the store. It was 88 cents. Comes in a nice little silver pouch. Throw it in the freezer for a couple hours, pull that bad boy out, boom. It literally tastes just like a blue raspberry icy. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know it's real good. I'm digging it. I'm going to be sucking on it like mother's teat. I cannot wait to get this down. Man, it's good. Great decision. I wish I would have bought 3 or 4 of them. Unfortunately, I only purchased 1. So that's my bad of the week. But, yeah, I'm living high. I definitely got the better Gamer Juice of the 2 this week.
Well, speaking of disappointment, I'm kind of disappointed in you because that sounds more like a gamer food than a gamer juice. But I digress, Adam. I'm an icy fan. I'm not going to begrudge you for enjoying an icy once in a while, but it just doesn't sound like an adequate gamer juice.
The thing is, if I eat a piece of ice, would you say, "Oh, you're eating"? No, I mean you wouldn't say I'm drinking either. But I think this counts. You know, you need to back off because especially at the bottom of the pouch, I bet there's going to be liquid there that is straight up juice. So
so the bottom of the pouch is the gamer juice. So you're eating through the ice to get to the gamer juice. I get you. That's good.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's move on from our gamer juice of the week to our games of the week. So how about you tell us about the first game, and then we'll hit the big boy Tetris Effect afterward.
Yeah. First game, this is a game that came out last week, and it's one that I bought at GameStop. I got a physical copy. You can only get it at GameStop because, I'm a collector of that sort. It is Deracine from Software. So if you've been a gamer in the recent years, you might have heard about Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne. That's the company that made this game. So what you can expect is not like super challenging action RPG gameplay like you get from those games, but instead you can expect like a somber story and like, I don't want to say Victorian era, but just kind of like some Victorian era graphics. So basically this game Deracine, if you haven't seen the trailers, you play a fairy in a children's school. They seem like they're about middle school. I don't know, but I think it's like a boarding school. And you're tasked with kind of, just going through the school and getting to know the kids that are in the school. There's about 6 kids, and you kind of make a little bit of mischief and have a little bit of fun and kind of build a relationship with the kids in the school. This, I would have to say, Deracine might be the quintessential, most not Adam game I can think of for the PSVR. I can't think of one thing about this game that would make Adam want to play it, other than the fact that it's just a good game. I really enjoy my time with it. So it doesn't have smooth locomotion. I don't believe you would call it snap turning, but I think it is just snap turning. Maybe I can't remember exactly. You move from point to point, kind of like in Invisible Hours, and you move to these different situations. You're a fairy, and the whole premise of being a fairy is that you exist in a world where time stands still. See, I knew that was going to happen. I was going to say the word fairy, and Adam was going to brush this game aside instantly. Yeah,
I'm laughing because you are a fairy, not just in the game, but as a person in real life. You're a fairy.
So they introduced this game poorly for people like Adam, dude bros like Adam, who play VR to look tough. They don't want to play VR to be a fairy. You don't see yourself, so it doesn't matter what they call it. Maybe they should have called it like a specter or something cool. Maybe make Adam feel cool for once in his life by calling him a ghost or a specter or something. But in this game, you kind of move around this boarding school, and you kind of cause mischief. I haven't completely finished the game, but the levels I played, what you're doing is you're solving kind of some puzzles by going up to one of the kids. Time is standing still, so they're frozen in space. And you go up to one of the kids, and you grab a little flame that's in front of them, and then you hear a sound bite of what the kid is saying, and it usually drops a hint like, oh, I'm going to hold this key in my pocket. And then you go find the kid somewhere else at another moment in time, and you grab the key out of their pocket. And then you go up to the attic of the school, and you use the key to unlock a box that opens up, opens up and gives you the item that you're looking for. So it doesn't seem terribly exciting. You watch the trailer, you're not going to be interested in this. You hear me talk about it, you're probably not going to be interested in it. But I just want to say this. For anybody who is a fan of Bloodborne or Demon Souls or Dark Souls, I'm especially talking to the Bloodborne fans, though. If you're interested in kind of like the somber storytelling of something like Bloodborne, something where you kind of pick up the details from item descriptions and it's not really shoved in your face, this is kind of the game for you. I wasn't expecting to really enjoy this game much, but I picked it up, I bought it because I expected a lot from Software. The guy who makes Bloodborne and Demon Souls and stuff, I forget his name. I think it's Miyazaki. He's not setting out to make a bad game. And so when Japan Studio wanted to work with him to make a PSVR game, I knew he was going to put out quality. And that's what this is. Invisible Hours was interesting and it's a good story. And in VR, it's incredibly blurry. This is like that kind of experience, but instead of being blurry, it's very sharp and it's very crisp. Granted, I'm playing on a Pro, but it's a very pretty game and it's an impressive game graphically. And I don't know, man. I just want to keep playing it. I want to keep seeing this story, seeing these relationships unfold before me and, interact and cause mischief for these kids as a fairy. And I hear that there might be a tie-in with Bloodborne or Bloodborne 2. And if that is true, then that just elevates this game even further. Like I said, I haven't beaten it yet. I'm really excited to see if there's a tie-in. I can kind of see some of the aesthetics matching up a little bit. But, yeah, Deracine, it sounds pretentious. I'll be honest. It is pretentious. But if you're a Bloodborne fan or a Miyazaki fan or just a quality storytelling and maybe looking for something different in VR aside from just like first-person shooting action games, this might be up your street. Adam, is there anything that you're looking for in this game that might sell you on it?
Yeah, the only way that I would consider purchasing this game is if they took their concept, what they had in their mind, and how they executed the game, and they changed it completely. Because it sounds like Invisible. It sounds horrible. I'm not even remotely interested. Might as well watch a movie. I don't want it. You play as a freaking fairy. Here's what I would play, though. And you talking about you playing as a little freaking fairy boy in school, this is what it reminded me of. Do you remember there was a PlayStation 2 game called Bully? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
That is a PSVR game that takes place in a school that I would like to play. First person, you go and you just beat the freaking crap out of people. It's like Drunken Bar Fight, but actually well developed and crisp and not glitchy. That is a game I would play. You're not a little fairy. You're like an average little stocky kid, and you just start beating crap out of kids and taking their gum and putting, I don't know, lollipops in girls' hairs and kicking balls and shooting people with slingshots and making fun of the football players and banging the cheerleaders. And I'd given swirlies. I don't know what kids do nowadays, but that is a game that I would like to play. Deracine, get your skull out of here, you freaking fairy.
It just sounds to me, Adam, like you play VR for the power fantasy. You're playing VR so that you can live the life you want to live. I was the bully in high school. I was banging the cheerleaders and having fun and causing ruckus. And you know what? I wish that I was a fairy in high school, causing mischief with the kids, and enhancing my friendships, and making life better for people instead of just banging the cheerleaders and giving people like you swirlies at them. I get it. You were picked on in high school, and you want to be the tough man now. Whatever, dude. If they make Bully for VR, you can play that. I'm going to play Deracine and enrich my soul and make the lives of those around me better.
You had a better shot at making love to my mom than the cheerleaders. Let me tell you what.
Okay.
I know. I want to see what he said. I left you speechless. Oh, okay. So, yeah, the game really doesn't sound that interesting to me on a more serious note. There's just nothing about it seems intriguing to me. I'm very much more of a thrill seeker. I like to climb up top scaffoldings and jump off and feel that rush that I'm going to die like you get into the top, or persistence when you're slowly creeping up behind something and know that if they even turn around for 20 degrees, they're going to notice you, and then it's going to be a full-on chaos. That's the type of rush I get. Being a little fairy boy in school isn't going to do that for me, so no thanks for Deracine.
So I just want to say that's crazy, because what I said was that this ties into the game Bloodborne, and what you described is almost exactly what Bloodborne is. So they took this game that's extremely exciting and extremely tense, and you're climbing up scaffolding, and you're in these precarious situations, and there's like total chaos if you make the wrong move, and they tied it into this game where you play as a fairy in a school. They potentially tied it in. I don't know 100%, but that's kind of the word on the street. So that's what's crazy about this game. So if you are at all interested in like the feeling or the lore of Bloodborne, which I feel like some of these people might be, you might want to check this game out. If you're interested in storytelling in the VR medium, check this game out. If you're like Adam and you want to relive some power fantasy from high school, maybe this isn't the game for you. Okay, Adam, I'm sorry. I'm done interrupting you talking about Deracine.
I mean, if you want to play a good game, don't play Deracine. I'm gonna go take a nap right now. Wake me up when Bloodborne is on the PSVR. Until then, I don't want to hear from Software or whoever the heck these people are. All right, so let's talk about the big boy, and we're gonna have quite a discussion here, and we'll probably have discussions for episodes on end about this. So I'm just gonna, from the intro, you should probably tell that I wasn't a huge fan of Tetris Effect. This is what I felt, and I know this is so difficult. I understand why some people love it and find it meditative and relaxing, and why some people just truly do love it. I understand, but here's my thinking, and it's tough because it is subjective. Some levels that I think are cool, you may not, and levels that you think are amazing, I'm not going to find amazing. And so the biggest, I guess, evidence of that is the fact that second level, Pharaoh's Code, I talked about it on previous episodes. I freaking love that level. Honestly, it is my favorite level of the entire game. I don't know why. The music and then the visuals with it being like light, and then things are passing by you and it turns red. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I don't know. I love it. So that I loved. Obviously, everyone loves that we're all connected and that I'm yours forever. So that there were two awesome levels on the demo and then a stinker. But, whatever. So those, after playing the entire journey mode, those are my two. I'm trying to think. They're definitely two of the top three levels that I like. And aside from those three, I only found 3 or 4 of the remaining levels even cool. Like the rest of them, like the level about jewels, I don't understand. I'm like, it's not good. There's several levels that are like waterish, and I didn't understand. Anyhow, so the levels I found, especially the ones without any type of audio track, without words, without actual singing, I thought were just not that impressive. The visuals weren't nuts. Again, like there were things that they did that were cool, and I'm certainly not going to say this is a bad game, but for what I thought it was going to be, for the hype that it received, for the hype that it's still receiving, I think personally that it's exactly what I said in the beginning, maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, that I'm afraid this is just going to be Tetris that's pretty. And that's exactly what it is for me. The only thing I like is the avatars. And here's the thing, guys. I don't think you can trust Alex, because Alex decided before the game even came out that he decided he was going to like it. And it doesn't matter. It could have been poop on a stick, and he could have been sucking it down like he was a hobo on a ham sandwich, and he would still love it because he already decided in his mind that he was going to like it. So I'm glad you like it, Alex, because I don't. I'm not going to play it again. I almost promise you I'm not going to touch it again. But I'm glad you like it. And, I mean, you can tell me, let me guess. You didn't decide that you liked it before, but you just naturally like it, huh?
No, Adam, I totally agree with you. This game is overrated, and it's not as good as everyone says it is, and I have a horrible time playing it. Wrong. That's not true, Adam. I love this game. It's not overrated. Okay, you say I decided that I liked it before it came out, but that's because I have experience with Mizuguchi. You know, I feel like Mizuguchi probably has to know who I am by now because of how dedicated I have been to his cause. You know, I played Rez when it came out. I got Rez on the Dreamcast when it came out. I went to Japan, and I got the Rez the vibration kit for Rez PlayStation 2 in Japan when it came out. I played through Space Channel 5. I bought the special edition on PS2. I even got a DS so I could play Meteos. Nobody even realizes Meteos was the puzzle game that he made. I got Lumines. I got a Japanese version of Lumines. I got Lumines 2. I got Lumines Electronic Symphony. I have every extent extra, and then I bought it all again on the Xbox 360 because I wanted to support Mizuguchi. I trust this man. So
but see, that's my point. That is why you already decided that you liked it, because you had already played games by him and you liked those games. I love Rez, so I mean, I think he does good stuff, but that's why you already decided you were going to like it, and you're blinded to the fact that it's not as good as it is because it is him.
I'm not blinded by the fact that I decided I was going to like it because I, as a person, know that I love what Mizuguchi puts out. So the difference is that, yeah, I might have decided that I was going to like it, but that's because I knew what my expectations were going in. I knew what this game was going to be. I didn't think that I was going to be playing Tetris, and then in the middle of playing Tetris, I was going to shoot the head off of a zombie, which is apparently what you thought this game was after playing the demo for ungodly amounts of hours trying to beat my high score, by the way. Oh, my goodness, I can't believe you suck so bad at this game that it has soured your opinion on the game as a whole. So we should make a note in the review. When you write the review, that you make a note that say, listen, we need to add like 2 points to whatever score I give this game because those are the 2 points that I deducted because Adam annihilated me and stomped me at this game. Adam, the songs are varied and they're different, and it's a dual purpose. One, it's something to appeal to everybody, and two, it's to open your mind, man. Not every song needs to be to your taste. Songs need to open up your taste. There's songs that I would have never listened to had they not been on Rez. I did not care about electronic music, and then I played Rez, and I loved that music. I did not care about J-pop, but then I played Lumines, and I began to love certain amounts of J-pop. I could see the quality in it. So there's an artistic quality to Tetris Effect. Some of these levels, you don't think that they are going to be good. You don't like the music they're presenting. You don't like the visuals, but you're being exposed to it as like an art piece. You know, you walk through an art museum, and you might not like all the paintings, but you're seeing the paintings. You're seeing what people like. People like this stuff, and they like it for a reason. And then to combine that with something like Tetris, everybody likes Tetris. I don't care what the biggest hater of all time says. Tetris is the most widely appreciated game possibly in the entire world, in the entire history of gaming, and it's always going to be that as far as I'm concerned. And now Mizuguchi has intrinsically combined his musical ability and the synesthesia and his artistic abilities with this classic and what's the word, timeless, his music and his artistic nature with this timeless video game. And here you are being upset because it doesn't conform to what you think VR should be. Adam, I think Tetris Effect is a challenge to you. It's a challenge to your preconceptions of what video games are, what VR is. And I think that's why you don't like it. So, yeah, I decided that I like this game when I decided to be a human being. When will you decide to be a human being, Adam?
Why is it a 10? Why should it be rated a 10 or a 9?
Okay, I will not give it a 10, and I will not give it a 9. I'd probably give it an 8.5. Just because I want to make things clear to my audience of how good this game could be. There are things I would like to change about this game. First of all, I would love to have multiplayer in this game. I love Tetris Battle Mode. It is one of the best things about Tetris. I think this game could be well served with a tutorial mode. They have a practice mode, but it's different. You know, if you don't know what a T-spin is, this game is not interested in teaching you that. And I think that that's an important thing to know about when you're playing this game. You know, that's a lot of people are going to be coming to Tetris and they haven't played it in a long time. And there's new things about Tetris that have been, added to the gameplay mechanics of it. So there's little things here and there that they could be worked on. And I haven't explored all the options yet, so I can't give this game a full score. You know, just beating journey mode, that's just looking at the tip of the iceberg. There's so much stuff in this game. You can take Pharaoh's Code that you love, Adam, and you can play it for 20 hours nonstop, hopefully, and you can enjoy it. You never mentioned to me after you beat journey mode that a theater mode opens up, and you can just enjoy the music and the visuals as you see fit. That's fantastic. That's what I want to do sometimes. I play through a level. I love the music. I love the visuals, but I can't focus on them because I'm playing the game.
Don't play a game. You're not playing a game. Watch a movie then, or listen to it.
I don't want to watch a movie, man. I listen to the music from Rez. I listen to Area X music because I want to relive that experience when I can, when I'm at work, when I'm doing stuff. You know, there's quality here beyond just playing the game. Not everything has to be persistence and tense and killing and crushing and wanting to vomit because you're so scared. Sometimes you want to relax and connect with your soul.
Another thing, on a separate note, that really burns my effing buns are all these freaking outlets. And you talked about this a little bit last week. All these outlets that are like, Tetris Effect is incredible. And it's because they haven't played they haven't played any VR or very little VR. And then they played this. Well, yeah, it's freaking incredible if you're not used to VR in the first place because it's a revolutionary experience. Like, that is horribly annoying me. Play 80% of the titles in the library, then play Tetris Effect, and then say that. Not just, oh, wow, this is the first time I play a headset on. Holy nuts. Oh, VR is a must with Tetris Effect. Like, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I agree. And that is a frustrating thing. I mean, as much as I love Tetris Effect in VR, and I think it's one of the best ways to play it because it focuses your senses, you don't get distracted by the environment around you. It's a game that would be maybe 90% of its original. The game, as good as it is in VR, it would be 90% that good in flat gaming, which isn't what you can say for all the other VR games out there. You know, you couldn't play to the top as a flat game and enjoy it to the same degree you enjoy it in VR. Same thing with persistence, same thing with a bunch of these games out there. So I do agree with you on that, Adam. And it chaps my hide too when I see, you know, some random mainstream outlet like IGN or somebody like that being like, finally, there's a reason to own VR. It's like, no, Tetris Effect is not the reason to own VR. If you own VR, you should get Tetris Effect. But Tetris Effect is not the reason to get VR. You need to get VR for Super Hot. You need to get VR for To the Top. You need to get VR for, I don't know, Dirt Rally. Some of these games are just incredible virtual reality experiences. Tetris Effect is really good. Tetris Effect is fantastic, and I really enjoy it. Adam doesn't, but I understand why he doesn't. But it is not the reason to own VR. So it's annoying when people conflate that and they make that point when they have no idea what they're talking about, man.
I know. It's so annoying. Same thing happened with freaking Astrobot. I saw that.
Astrobot, I could say that's a reason to own VR, but.
I mean, but there's a lot of other reasons.
You're right.
Anyhow, okay. So how long so I've already been like, okay, I wasted $40 in this game. How many hours do I have to put in it to make myself be able to sleep at night that I wasted money? Like, what's the minimum amount that I can pay or play and say that, okay, I got my money's worth?
So when I evaluate getting my money's worth in a game, I equate it to like a movie. It's going to cost you approximately, maybe if you get a good deal, $10 to go see a movie. So that's $10 for about an hour and a half or 2 hours of enjoyment. So let's just round that up to 2 hours because the VR experience of a video game is better than, 2 hours in a video game is better than 2 hours of a movie. So we're looking at $10 for every 2 hours. So you spent $40. So I don't know. What does that equate to, Adam?
I'm not playing it. No, I'm not. There's no. I don't want to play it again. I guess I'm just gonna accept it as a loss. Is that what you? It's like I didn't really play video games before VR, and I definitely didn't play them to where I had to actually purchase my own. Because like when I played Super Nintendo, I was a kid, so my parents bought the games. So sometimes do you just accept that? Okay, I got boned and I wasted money, and you move on.
Well, I'm usually pretty careful about the games that I buy. I'm really curious as to what you played in the demo that wasn't delivered on in the actual game. To me, the full game is just a better version of the demo. The demo offered this promise, and I played the full game. And it's like, oh wow, it's like there were three games. It's 9 times what the demo was. Yeah, all right, I get it. I'll pay that price. I don't know what happened in the demo aside from you really liking that second song that made you feel like this is worth $40 because that's what happened. You played the demo, you bought the game. I don't know what changed.
Because the levels on the demo were better.
You still have those 3 levels.
Yeah, I know. But I expected, and that's where I kind of feel burned. I feel like for me, and I know it's all so subjective that it's not necessarily fair to generalize this, but for me, they put 2 of the best levels, 2 of the top 3 levels in the demo, and the rest of the levels either for me sucked or were what I would consider cool. And so I feel like I was led astray by me thinking that the rest of the game was going to be as good when it wasn't even remotely close.
I don't want to say that they gave you a bait and switch. I think maybe you got caught up in the moment. Yeah, those 2 songs are really good. They're some of the best songs in the game. There are other very good songs, and maybe the fact that there's so many songs and it takes so much effort to get to them and listen to them kind of hides the quality there. You were forced to play through those same 3 songs over and over again and really solidify your opinion on them. But I don't really know what to tell you to make you want to play this game more. And hey, you know what? It happens sometimes. People love games, and then you just can't figure your way around it. Happens to me with Assassin's Creed. People love Assassin's Creed, and I play it, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't get into this. Grand Theft Auto, I can't get into it. I don't know why everybody else loves it. So it might just be that it's not your cup of tea, Adam, and that's okay. I'm sorry you spent $40 on it. I would send you $40, but I feel like you're an idiot for not liking the game, so I don't want to reward your idiotic behavior.
Okay, real quick, and then we're going to end the segment because, again, we'll probably end up talking about Tetris Effect again. But we just got, I'm not going to say we, but the 2018 Game Awards for Best VR Game of the Year. This is what we got. Astrobot, Beat Saber, Firewall, Moss, and Tetris Effect. This makes me want to vomit because not only – I don't understand how the Persistence isn't on there. Persistence is definitely more VR and a better game than Tetris Effect is. I think I haven't played Astrobot. I feel like Astrobot should definitely be there. Beat Saber, I know this is VR in general. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, Beat Saber is going to be as incredible as people say it is. Firewall, I would rather play – I'm not going to play Firewall again in my life either. That was another $40 game that I wasted. It gets old to me. Moss, okay, but really, I feel like Persistence is better than Moss. I feel like To the Top is better than Moss. I actually think To the Top is better than all these games on here. And since I like Persistence the best, I think that one I could see why it's not better than all these, but for me it is. But I don't understand how do you put Tetris Effect in there? There's so many other games that should go in. It's not a pure VR game. It's like an add-on. It's so stupid.
I agree. But if you look historically, the games that have won these awards, Resident Evil 7 won the award, and that's not a VR-only game. And Res Infinite also won the award, and that is also not a VR-only game. But I agree that we should give precedence to VR-only games. And of that list, would you say Astrobot, Moss, Beat Saber, and Firewall, 0 Hour? Firewall shouldn't be on it. Firewall is a fun game. I have a good time with it, but there's a lot of problems with it, and it's limited in scope. Moss and Astrobot shouldn't both be in there. They're very similar games. Like what they're going for is very similar. They're different games a little bit. Moss, I think,
and Astrobot, I feel like is certainly the better of the two.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I would get rid of, if I had to pick one game to play, it would be Astrobot over Moss, because Astrobot is more fully realized and it really is a better showcase of VR. Moss, I loved it to death, but it's not as good as Astrobot. To the top, I haven't played it as much as you. It's a really thrilling experience. I could see how it could not be for everybody. I could see how maybe it's kind of a one-note song to people. But, but I really think your nomination of Persistence, I think that is really one of the best VR games that have come out this year. It has it all. Aside from, like, motion-controlled tracking, it really – that is a very good
It's
game.
not even in the top 5. I can't believe that. There's no way.
So the deal is with these kind of award shows, these quote-unquote award shows, is I think they're really like developers have to nominate themselves or something, or they have to donate money to this award show to get it. You're never going to see, unless it's like a huge outpouring from fans, you're never going to see like a smaller developer, an indie developer, getting their game up on here. And I don't know. I guess Sony doesn't want to push Persistence as much as they want to push Astrobot. Also, I agree. Tetris Effect is not like a VR game of the year. It's not a game of the year. I love it. I love the stuff. I wouldn't give Res game of the year talking about a mass media outlet. So
it's not. Tetris Effect isn't even a VR game. It's like it's more of like an experience.
Yeah, that's
VR.
a good point.
And it's like, how is that? Like, I could name you. I'm not going to sit down here and think, because now I have to like pick out which games actually came out this year. But I could pick a ton of games that should be on this list over Firewall, Tetris Effect. And I mean, I could see why you would put Moss on there. But that's like that was like what, last February? Like, yeah, I just feel like I don't know if it's a cash grab, but it's like, they pick the biggest developers who have the most money and are the most well-known and slap them on here. And I hate stuff like that. So they lost all credibility with me. I could care less about these game awards. I think they're freaking fools. They're idiots, and it proves that they themselves haven't played any of these freaking games. And again, that goes back to my first point where I find it extremely annoying how it's so obvious. Like, I don't think we would find a single person who would list those 5 games as the best.
And Adam, I agree with you there. And I do just want to point out, are you upset that Cold Iron's not on the list? Because we know how hard you argued for that to be 2018 Game of the Year.
Okay, and I'm mad that Pop-Up Pilgrims isn't on there either. It's a solid 8, and I'm going to rate Tetris Effect lower than that. I rated Moss an 8. Firewall, I have 7 or 8. Beat Saber will probably get above there. I didn't get to play Astrobot. Astrobot's probably better than 8. But, I mean, where's Pop-Up Pilgrims, guys? Come on.
Where's Pop-Up Pilgrims? No, Adam, I think what this means is we need to do our own PlayPSVR awards show. Would you agree?
Dude, and how could we set it up?
We're going to send a stunt kite to the winners.
And it just says, your winner. There it is. Oh, that would be fun. Like, if your development team has more than like 20 people, you can't be in the running. I don't know how big these teams are.
Some of them are really small. I mean, no, seriously though, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about it. Just in Time Incorporated was a really interesting game, and it really broke new ground in its gameplay mechanics. Whereas something like Moss and Astrobot's a little bit better in this, but Moss doesn't break that much new ground. It does cool stuff, but it doesn't break that much new ground. But Just in Time Incorporated did really cool stuff with gameplay. It's not Game of the Year, but this stuff isn't getting the lip service that it deserves, you know?
And it was made by 2 guys, right?
2 dudes.
2 dudes. And like, same thing with End Space, made by, I think, a dude and his brother. Like, I mean, again, I think Just in Time Incorporated is even better than End Space. But, like, there's so many other – whatever. You know, what the F ever. I'm disappointed with these games. I'm disappointed with Tetris Effect. I'm disappointed with myself. I don't know what to do with myself. I think we should just end this, and then I'll try to, like, regain some love, some confidence, some mojo. We'll come back, and we'll hit some of the more disappointing games of the PSVR actually coming up this year because I'm already disappointed. Why not just go in full-blown depression? So stick with us, and we'll talk to you on the other side of the break. Welcome back to Play PSVR, the podcast. So we're in our second segment, and as promised, I've already talked about it. I'm not a big fan of Tetris Effect. I don't know what it is, guys. Alex has already raked me over the coals about it, both personally, professionally, businessly. Every lead that you could think of, I've been destroyed by Alex in.
Sexually.
I was going to go there, but then I was like, that's just going to open up a whole can of worms. But regardless, I need to cope in some way because I cannot believe that my heart was broken so much by a Tetris Effect. So then that brought a conversation between Alex and I that we briefly had, and then we were like, okay, let's talk to it on the podcast. We were like, let's talk about the most disappointing PSVR titles that we've had to date because Tetris Effect really is my number one most disappointed title in the PSVR library. And so part of this, Alex, just so we let them know, and hopefully you adjusted your list accordingly. So these games have to have some type of expectations. Like, for example, 18 Floors, I think is very disappointing, but it didn't really have a high ceiling to begin with. So that's not going to be on this list because it had a low ceiling to begin with, and then it was disappointing, so it was like whatever.
What about a game like Ranch Planet where you don't expect it to be great, but then it's so bad?
I mean, I think that at that point it's got to be like personal. I don't know. But I mean, so a perfect idea to me is one that people definitely don't talk about very often. It's called Audio Beats. Do you even remember that coming out, Alex?
I don't. I thought there was some other game called Audio Tracks or something like that.
There is, but there's also Audio Beats. And so essentially it's some Japanese, pretty much you pretend that you're playing drums to these. I mean, there's so many reasons it's disappointing. So I guess I'll hop into that now. So my first game is Audio Beats.
Surprise.
I know, right? It's not the most disappointing game again, but it's one that I thought at the time we didn't have Beat Saber. Really the only music game we had. We didn't have Electronauts. We only had Run Dorothy Run. And so Audio Beats, I was like, dude, people love that. What was that? DDR or something like that?
Yeah.
DDR, whatever.
Dance Revolution.
Yeah. DDR?
DDR, double DR.
Double Ds. Gotta love the double Ds. So I was like, okay, everyone loves DDR. And everyone, Rock Band, Guitar Hero, things like this. So I was like, this game, but, again, once Beat Saber comes out, it's going to be a number one. But Audio Beats could really fill a hole that we all had. It could just fill it good, And so I was excited for it. And then what happened was they put all of the, I don't even know, and the drums, the things that you hit, they're the cymbals and then just the little round things that you actually make contact with. What are those actually called?
Oh, the drum.
Oh, so it's literally, there's like 4 drums in the drum set? Okay. That tells you how much I know about music. Okay. So they put the drums way too close together. So it was so hard to hit, especially when it was going quickly. And it's just so hard to be very precise. And then there were only, I'm trying to remember, maybe 5 tracks to choose from, and they never added any more. I remember even if you played in the lowest difficulty, you had to get, a 98%, completion where you hit all of the notes, and only then would you get, an A. Otherwise, you got, Ds for your grade. The game wasn't good. Most of the songs... of the 5, 3 of them were bad. They didn't add any tracks. The drums were too close together. The people were Japanese, so you try to contact them or have a conversation with them, and that led to nowhere. it had so much potential, and it could have filled a void that we all had in PSVR, and it didn't. And for that reason, it was one of the more disappointing titles that I had. So I don't know. So that's first of mine. What's one of yours?
Yeah, I don't know if I had huge hopes for this, but it's a game that disappointed me because looking at the trailer, I thought this could be something different, something I could enjoy. And the review I wrote about it was just about how it was disappointing. I won't harp on it because I talked about it a lot, but Mind Labyrinth VR, I really thought this was going to be something special and not special for everybody, but something different that I could really enjoy and get a different, unique experience out of. The designers were going for something, and I was applauding their effort and going for that whole like relaxation motif. This is something that needs to be explored in VR. The whole idea of like, meditative sceneries and stuff like that. And nobody's doing it, and they set out to do it, and they botch it. They put out
job.
It's a botch job. Yeah, they put out a half-developed game, and a lot of stuff that really defeats the purpose of the game to begin with. So,
it's a botch job. Almost like a botched circumcision or something. You botch it.
Yeah, Adam. That's exactly what Mind Labyrinth VR is. That's what I think about when I'm in these meditative spaces. So,
botched circumcisions. That's what I think about.
That's mine on my list, Adam. How about you move on to your list?
Okay, so this one, wasn't hard pick at all. One of the first games I thought of was Blind. So I was so excited for Blind because I thought it was going to be this mysterious type of game in which you're just going to be pretty much inside a human-sized dryer. And it was going to be spinning around. It was going to be a hot mess, and you were just going to get hit by the sides of this dryer, like a clothes dryer, but for a human. That's what I thought I was going to be in when I was in Blind. Rather, what I got was horrible puzzles, non-intuitive gameplay, stupid plot, and it was such a good idea. And again, it was another botch job. I know you didn't think it was that bad, but I found it very difficult to get through. The puzzles they weren't good. I thought they could have done a lot more with the game. They didn't. It had some cool features, but I think, Stifled's the beast, and that they were going for something similar to that, but it wasn't as good. So Blind was another big, big, big disappointment for me.
Yeah, we disagree on that. Blind had disappointing things about it, but it wasn't as bad as you think it was.
Would you say it's good?
I enjoyed it.
That's not the question, Alex. If someone came to you, it was a stranger, and they said, "Is Blind good?" What would you say?
No, I'd say it's decent. It's not good. It's decent.
Okay, decent. I'm going to look this up, but isn't decent better than good? Like, wouldn't you rather be decent than good?
No, it's like an understatement.
Oh, is it?
When people say stuff is decent and they mean it's really good, they're understating themselves. Decent is like one level above competent, in my opinion. Decent is like a 6 out of 10. Good is like a 7 out of 10. We're not going to wax grammar here, Adam. Let's move on.
No, I'm really thinking because okay. But the game sucks. That's what you're saying. And I also agree. So I don't know what you're complaining about. It's disappointing. It's decently bad.
Fair enough. It was disappointing, especially when I first started out and I had all these weird glitches and I had to replay the game and the controls were really frustrating and annoying and the puzzles just flat out didn't work when I first played it. That was very disappointing.
The end was stupid. Okay, anyhow, go ahead.
You're stupid, Adam. No, okay. So I'm going to just name 2 games real quick because I don't want to talk about them too much. I got a big boy at the end of the list. But Apex Construct was disappointing because it had so much promise in the story. The gameplay was fine. It was a fun game to play. But the story was going in a direction I was really enjoying it. And then the game just ends. Spoiler warning, the game ends like this. And that's it. And there's no way to resolve it. There's no end in sight. There's no way to figure it out. So there you go. It made me so mad. It was a huge disappointment. The other game that was disappointing was Rangy or however you pronounce it. I don't know. Again, something I thought was going for something different. I had just got done playing The Witness, which is a really awesome puzzle game and really beautiful and creative and inventive. And I thought this was going to be something that kind of takes after that and expounds upon that in VR, or at least, mimic it to a decent degree in VR. No, it was frustrating as hell puzzle game, but the puzzles aren't even in VR. It's like you just kind of flip switches and try to move these blocks, but you're trying to move them with the move controllers and the tracking's not good. And so you can't move them and you just feel sick and you can only teleport and you get mad. And this game's supposed to make you feel peaceful and enjoy the African beats, but the music doesn't work and it cuts out all the time. That's huge disappointment. Rangy's huge disappointment. Adam, what do you got now?
Well, so one is definitely, sadly, it was kind of easy for me to rattle these off, which is not a good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's a disappointment in and of itself.
Exactly. So I'm not going to touch on it because for some reason this and Blind, I don't know, stick in my mind. But Torn was bad. Like it had the potential to be good, and it just sucked a big donkey dong. And it was also a botch job. The puzzles were unlike anything I've ever seen in my life, and about some of the most
inspired?
Unchallenging things I've ever seen in my life. My niece could have solved those puzzles, and the game was just horrible. By the end of that game, I was like, I not even come up with something because everything I can think about is like homeless people, and it's probably offensive. Let's just say I was limping towards the end, okay? And it wasn't good. Torn sucked. Very disappointing. You had even the plot wasn't too bad, but the gameplay was bad. Paper Dolls is really bad. I've already talked about it last week. I'm not going to go into it. Again, it looked awesome based on the graphics and the environment and what they were going for. Just on the surface looked incredible, and I couldn't wait. And then again, I guess botch job is going to be the phrase of the night because it was a botch job on the controls and one that they could not overcome. And so my next game, I've only got two more. So my next one has got to be Evasion. So Evasion we waited so long for, and it looks so good based on the trailers. And then you got the game, and then you're like, oh, okay. So you shoot robots, and okay, you move a little bit and shoot more robots, and then there's another wave of robots coming, and then you get about an hour and a half in, and you realize, oh my gosh, it's a wave shooter. It is a freaking wave shooter. But there's no way for you to know that because the team made it very apparent, and they, I'm certain, tried very strongly to make sure that after watching trailers and gameplay that you wouldn't know that. And not only was it a wave shooter, it wasn't even that fun of one. Tracking worked well. It wasn't great. I expected so much more from Evasion. I don't know if it's a bad game because nothing is broken about it. Nothing doesn't work properly, but I had such high expectations, and then they let me down, man. They let me down.
Yeah. And in keeping with that theme, the big daddy on my list, the biggest disappointment of PSVR. Adam, what if I told you that one of the most promising VR developers is putting out a new game for you, and they were putting out a new game that used the aim controller, and this game was getting supported so much that Sony decided to bundle it as a pack-in with the aim controller. So we get a Sony aim controller bundle saying this is a game that's going to showcase how wonderful the aim is. And what if I told you that game came out and it was Bravo Team, and it was a total dead on arrival turd. The graphics were unfinished. The multiplayer didn't quite work. Yeah, you have the aim controller. The whole point of the aim controller, by the way, is to use the analog sticks to move around. But in this game, you don't move around. You point to where you want to go. You teleport. Yeah, there's a small cutscene showing your person running, but you teleport. The game's too blurry. You have to snipe these dudes with a machine gun that's like impossible to shoot accurately. But the game's too blurry to even see the dudes to snipe. When you shoot them, points pop out of their head or something like that. And so it's super cartoony and arcadey. You get completely disoriented every time you move from point to point because your character ends up turning around 180 degrees. You don't know where you are. And then to top it all off, when I was playing it, I got shot, I got killed, and you can wait for your buddy to come help you, but he was stuck in the wall, and there's no way to get him out of the wall. And so I just had to sit there and watch myself bleed out, and it just the game didn't work. And it was a game pushed hard by Sony. We were all excited about it. We wanted a tactical shooter. We were hungry for something like Firewall Zero Hour, and we got Bravo Team, and it was very bad. I can't think of a game that could be more disappointing than that. It's like, what if you got Res Infinite and it was like ended up only being like one level or something like that? It's just abysmal. I hated it. I'm mad. It disappointed me, Adam, and now I'm getting depressed talking about this. Do you have any more games you want to talk about on the depression list?
It almost sounds as if you got like a demo for a game and the demo is awesome, and then you purchase the real game.
Don't you do that. Don't you, we are not talking about Tetris Effect right now. Don't you try. I played more Tetris Effect. I'll have everybody know I beat Journey Mode. Adam is a liar. He's a filthy, dirty liar. He's got no taste. There are multiple beautiful levels in that game. I'm not going to get into it. This is the depression list, and we're going to get sad here. Adam, are you done being sad? Are you sad enough?
I told you earlier. I beat the game 4 times, and each time I was less impressed. No, I have one more game. You guys should see this coming because I've talked about it before. And again, this isn't one that I had insane expectations. But how do you butcher special delivery? I mean, just put the effing kid on a bicycle and have him shoot freaking newspapers on people's lawns. How hard could that be? And the question is, how could you screw it up more? I suppose if the game just didn't work, like never started, but then here's the thing. You're doing everybody a favor by not wasting their time. They already paid for it by using their hard-earned money, so you already boned them in that regard, but at least you also didn't waste their time. And what they did, they not only wasted your money, they wasted your time. You could be playing to the top. You could be playing the Persistence. You could be playing Resident Evil or Wipeout. But no, instead you're trying to play freaking special delivery and figuring out how to shoot it in the newspaper box. It doesn't work. You want to know why it doesn't work? Because it sucks. And then they came out with the aim controller, which I thought that when you were talking about the intro for Bravo Team, I thought you were talking about special delivery. Because, yeah, this it sucks. I guess Sony didn't really back it because Sony knew it sucked. If Sony was so bad that they boxed Bravo Team, how bad could special delivery be that they wouldn't box that too? That's how bad special delivery is. I don't remember who the developers are, but you effing suck. You should go quit your whatever job you're doing. I'm assuming that's your full-time job. If not, you should quit your full-time job too, because you need to completely change everything about your life because that game sucks. It's bad. It might be, special delivery and okay, I'll just end it there. You have some new games that hopefully won't be disappointing for us, right?
Yeah. So, do you feel like you got it all out, Adam? Do you feel a little bit better? I felt bad for you talking to you earlier this week. Like you had your hopes dashed one too many times. We see these games come down the pipe, and we get excited about them, and then you play them, and you're just like, oh, it's another game that's not scary, or I just don't like it. And I'm starting to feel like you're just kind of getting beat down over and over and over again. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's the games. I don't know what the deal is. But do you feel any better having gotten that off your chest?
Dude, it's the games, man. It's Tetris Effect. That's what it is. You want to know what's got me down? Is a game that should be good. It's just not.
It is good. It is good.
It's exactly what I said it was going to be 4 weeks ago. It's Tetris with some pretty backgrounds. And that's exactly what it's bullcrap. That's not what it should be. It should be something special, and it's not. All the different effect modes suck. The journey mode, you're right, there were 3 other levels. So there are 6 levels that I like. The rest of them suck. And then the only thing I like about the entire freaking game are the little avatars. I want all the avatars, and I'm not going to get all the avatars because I'm not going to waste my life on that stupid game to get the avatars. But I do like that very much.
It's so funny because I like everything else about the game. I could not give 2 craps about the avatars, Adam. I don't know what you. So it's like you're wanting to play Tetris Pokemon. It seems like you just want to collect them all and that's it. Like this is not what this is about, man.
It is. It's about expressing myself in all the very unique ways. Some days I'm a fish. Some days I'm a sphere. Maybe one day I'll be a little astronaut. But I don't know because I'm not going to play the game because it's bad and I don't want to rack up that many points to get all the avatars. So thanks for wasting my $40. Thanks for making me believe in myself and my first impressions. And then thanks for nothing. So give me some more games, dang it.
Thanks for the list, Adam. It was nice talking to you about this. Let's hope we can pull you out of this depression in the coming months. here's some new games coming out that are going to help do that. Adam, Megalith. Have you seen anything about this? They have a beta that is coming out. It's going public on Tuesday, so I think we won't be publishing this yet, but it should be out by now then if you're listening to this podcast. Our buddy on Twitter, JD Max, I believe, said that it controls kind of like Skyrim with the Move controllers, but it's like a first-person shooting type game, kind of like a MOBA. He compared it to Overwatch, if you know what that is. Did you watch any of the footage? Are you excited about this at all, Adam?
I mean, I have my – I mean, yeah, I'm definitely going to give her a good old college try, especially since it's free and I didn't pay $40 to get bent over the table and taking it up without even a use of a condom. But
you are lewd tonight.
I am lewd because I'm freaking mad. It's bullcrap. There's no reason games should be bad. Anyhow, I think it's, yeah, definitely everyone should give it a try. I mean, the last time that I was like, I'll try the beta. It was Rec Room, and it was awesome. So I have absolutely zero reason to doubt this. And even if it's not that great, you lose nothing by trying. So I'm going to be on that bad boy like fly on poop on Tuesday.
So, yeah, it's kind of like a Dark Eclipse with some first-person viewpoint instead of being like a person playing on a board game. I'm excited about it. It looked really good. I have high hopes for it. And, the Skyrim controls were fine for me. I could imagine a multiplayer game with those kind of controls being really fun. But moving on, there was some – I don't think you watched footage of this, but there's a game that was announced recently, Scraper First Strike. It's kind of a sci-fi first-person shooter. Watching the footage, it doesn't look like there's going to be aim controls or even move controls. Do you have it in you to play another game, Adam, with a DualShock that's first-person shooter?
I mean, the one thing I will say is that the DualShock allows you to be one lazy SOB. You can just sit there with your pants down in your chair and the world's okay. You don't got to get up and worry about, is the tracking height adjusted for my my Move controllers? And, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to buy it. If we get a review, I would try it. If it's super cheap, I would try it. But I do think the DualShock and first-person shooting games just, I don't know. They don't go super well together.
Except for persistence, apparently. Adam, Trickster VR just came out with an update to make that game, the co-op in that game live. Now, I watched you stream a little bit of this, and it looked kind of fun. It reminded me of Ancient Amulator. The combat looked exciting. Adam, I want to know, if I get this game, will you play it with me? Will that make you feel better, you think?
I'll play it with you. But, I mean, I think it's just one of those games where, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the games that don't have an end. Like, this game will never end. And it's not meant to end. Like, it's not, like, even like Prada, where, okay, I'm going to put in 500 hours. That does technically have an end. This, to my knowledge, does not have an end. But I think it could be fun. I mean, it's like you just go and hack and slash enemies and protect your base or get coins and get to different portals. But, yeah, I mean, it's a fun little game. No way I would pay more than $10 for it. And
does it have a platinum trophy?
That I am not sure. I do not know.
See, that's the beauty about these trophies. There's games like this that seem to have no end, but then the trophies give you something to strive for and give you an end point. That's like, I would like to play Tetris and get all the trophies. I don't think I'm ever going to be good enough to get them, but that's something that I would enjoy. And, I played Heavy Fire a lot longer than I should have because there was a trophy to kind of give me an end point to get to. So maybe that's something we can, Adam, maybe for Thanksgiving, we should be thankful for each other and play some of these games together like Trickster VR. How about that?
I mean, we could try, but I'm going to be playing Stunt Kite Master.
Yeah, you are, buddy. Yeah, you are. Okay. Another game I want to mention. You mentioned Rec Room. Yeah, Rec Room is really fun. We all enjoy it. They're putting out a new quest that is kind of a takeoff of Castlevania. Adam, have you ever played Castlevania?
I have. It's hard as tits.
It's hard. It's a classic game, and you crack that whip at the enemies. It's a game that I've loved and wanted to see in VR for a long time now. I figure there could be a good implementation of that game in first person, and now I get a free version, like a free trial run of it in Rec Room. So it's Rec Room Crescendo of Blood. Now, these quests are really difficult, but you get the whip, and that's all I really want is a whip to whip at these enemies like the bats and the skeletons and stuff like that. You also get a shovel that you can beat them with, and it looks like you can also whip a gun into your hand and then shoot them with a gun. Adam, we haven't played Rec Room in a long time, and it sounds like the game has made great strides in its playability. Are we going to be thankful and play this also over Thanksgiving, Adam?
Dude, I'm just you kind of mentioned this earlier. I forgot if it was in podcast or if it was before we started. That I need to focus on games to get on my little Tetris Effect rut. I need to focus on games that I love and that are good. And I do like Rec Room, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I need a little more dose to the top. I need some games that are givens. These Rec Room challenges are brutal. I don't know a single person who has actually beaten one. Like, they are that difficult. And so I feel like going over there and getting my butt whooped, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I should be doing with my life right now.
Well, to close out the segment, Adam, I'm going to go ahead and give you some advice. You want to play games that are given. There's a game out there. You haven't even touched the in-game content of it. It's free content out there for you, and you seem to refuse to want to look at it. It's Resident Evil 7, Adam. The end of Zoe is one of them. We also have the Not a Hero add-on. It's like a more action-packed version. It's scary, and it's fun, and it's there for you to play, Adam, and you're complaining about these games not being good enough. You need to I've said it many times. You need to be thankful, Adam. You have virtual reality in your life. You have these quality games in your life. You need to play them and be thankful for what you have. Adam, let's be thankful, okay? And going into this next segment, I want you to think a little bit while we're going across the break, and think about the games that you're thankful for, all right? And then on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about the games that we want to show our mom to convince our mom to buy PlayStation VR. So we will see you after the break. All right, welcome to segment 3 of PlayPSVR, the podcast. Now we're going to talk about a little Thanksgiving topical conversation. Adam, do you remember when the Nintendo Wii came out? Were you alive then?
Well, I was subconscious, but I do believe technically I was alive.
Subconscious but alive. I don't know what that means, but that's a wonderful way of putting it. The big thing about the Nintendo Wii, Adam, was that when it came out, people showed it to like their grandparents and their parents. And, Wii Sports was a game that was really simple to understand the concept of. And, it wasn't super deep, but it just worked. And people could see how to play it immediately, and then they could try it out, and they loved it. And that led the Wii to going on to having these amazing numbers of consoles being sold. I want this to happen for PSVR, Adam. And the way this is going to happen is people are going to get PSVR on Black Friday, and they're going to show it off to their family. And, yeah, you can show it off to, like, your brother or your sister, people who can play games, and that's one thing. You show it off to your friends. But the real system seller, Adam, is when you show it off to your mom, and she wants to go out and buy one, and she wants to play it. So what we're going to do, Adam, is we're going to talk about some games that we think are best to try to convince your mom. We're not talking about everybody's mom. Adam, we're going to talk about your mom and how to convince your mom to buy a PSVR. We'll talk about my mom too, so don't worry. We're not going there, Adam, but we're going to talk about the games to convince our moms to buy a PSVR and play PSVR. So thinking of that, I focused on some games that, I imagine my mom doesn't know where the X and the square and the triangle and the O button is on the PlayStation controller. She might not understand how analog sticks work. She might not know what a shoulder button is, and she might not.
Is she stupid?
Hey, this is a mom playing a video game, man. I mean, hey, nothing out there against moms. Moms can play video games, but I'm just thinking my mom. She hasn't played games in a while. So just to get this rolling, Adam, is that okay? Can I go ahead and start the list, or do you want to add something to this?
I'm going to wait until you start talking and then interrupt you. Go ahead.
Sounds good. Yeah. So to get this rolling, the last game I remember my mom really playing was Tetris. She was huge into Tetris when it came out on the NES. She's got amazing skills at it. Every once in a while, we'll bust out the old cartridge and we'll play, and she'll wipe the floor with me. So right off the bat, the game I'm going to show my mom to get her to want to buy a PlayStation VR is Tetris Effect.
Ooh, bad move.
Bad move. Okay, bad move on Adam's part. It's a game that has all the challenge of the original Tetris. It's got the ability to adjust the gameplay mechanics however you want to have them, and it's really just elevates Tetris to another level. So anybody who's a fan of Tetris is probably going to be a huge fan of Tetris Effect. Now, Adam, you said it's a bad move. You might be right. You know, some of the quality of Tetris Effect is apparent even if you don't play in VR. So while Tetris Effect might be a game that sells a PS4 to my mom, it's not going to be a game that necessarily sells PSVR to my mom, but I think it might be icing on the cake to try to sell PSVR to my mom or just moms in general. Adam, what do you think about that? You said it's a bad idea?
Yeah.
Why?
If I didn't like it, why is she going to like it? She's going to be like, this is, of course she didn't pay for it and she didn't have expectations of it being good. So maybe it'll be all right.
Maybe she's better at Tetris than you, Adam. I think this whole thing is you're just sore that I stomped you. Anyways, tell me about a game that you would have your mom play, Adam. But
okay,
besides Headmaster.
Okay, Headmaster, of course, and then Little Star, obviously. Headmaster and Little Star are the headliners. But aside from that, you know, moms are people too, dude. You don't just give a mom a game they think they can handle. You give them a game because it's one of the best games. And that's why I'm giving my mom Super Hot. Because no matter if you're an infant, if you're a mom, if you're a college kid, if you're currently giving birth at this minute, you want to play Super Hot. You play it and you immediately realize, wow, I am literally in this different world. Yeah, I could punch my mirror in the living room and bust it and destroy my hand, but it's okay because you got that, you missed that bullet and you punched that guy in the crotch, you grabbed his knife in the other hand and stabbed his buddy in the forehead. Yeah, you got super hot. That is the moment that everybody loves, whether you bang your head on the desktop or if you punch your lamp or you walk into the wall or you get a butt cramp. It doesn't matter, dude. Super Hot is special. Everyone loves that game. It's the first game I'm going to show my mom. It's going to open her eyes. She's going to realize what type of system this is, and she is going to go on Black Friday and hope that Walmart and GameStop and Target and all of them didn't sell out already.
Adam, do you not think that it might be kind of confusing right off the bat? I had a similar idea. I was thinking, you know, Super Hot is a real system seller in my mind. But I was thinking, does my mom want to punch red dudes? Does she want to shoot guns at other dudes? Does your mom like punching red dudes, Adam?
That's not the thing, dude. It's the fact that in Tetris, it's like whatever. She knows she's playing a video game. Okay, yeah, take the headset off. She can still play Tetris. Super Hot is a completely different beast. There is nothing else like Super Hot in virtual reality. It's just how it is. There is nothing that she has ever experienced in her entire life like Super Hot. And that eye-opening realization will then open the doors for other things like maybe a Tetris Effect or like a Wipeout or my mom doesn't like being scared, so she would never play the Persistence or Resident Evil. But like, you know, something like that, she would then realize the opportunities and then want to buy it.
Okay. So I do want to make a caveat. I meant to say this at the top, but we're not including VR worlds.
Now, no, you didn't. You didn't say that right off the bat. My next game is VR Worlds because she's going to play Ocean Descent and London Heist, and she has 4 games in one. Alex, you didn't say in the beginning she's playing VR Worlds.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I thought that was the easy way out. I think this is a better discussion for us to have. Adam, the next game on my list is going to be Job Simulator. Now, I have this game. I'll admit I haven't played it, but I've played games like it, and I've seen footage.
You're recommending a game to your mom you haven't even played.
I've seen footage of the game, and so I have an idea of what the game is like. Now,
is this amateur hour?
It is. We're amateurs at this, Adam. So the whole reason, you know, we talked about Job Simulator being expensive and rare for physical copies. The reason it's expensive and rare is because the VR arcades have to have a physical copy of a game in order to let anybody play it, apparently, so that the license isn't tied to a console or something like that. So it's obviously a game that people who don't own a VR already can jump in and play, and they're used to playing. It's a game that I hear a lot of people let their kids play because it's really silly. You're just doing menial tasks with the Move controllers, and it kind of gets you comfortable with how VR works and how tracking works and how you can pick things up and you can run things in the copy machine and you can throw things around and throw things in the trash can, and it's really funny. Also, I think moms are good at working these days. We got working moms these days, and I just, I really like to support working moms. So Job Simulator is the next game on my games for moms list.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, do you really want to give your mom a game you haven't tried? What if it's not that good?
I've heard good things about it. I have a lot of faith.
I've heard good things about Tetris Effect.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
Am I?
Yeah.
Prove it, dude.
Yeah, you can't beat my score. Until you can beat my score, your opinion is invalid on Tetris Effect. Move on the list, Adam.
Okay, so next game I'm going to have my mom play is Tomb Raider VR experience, and that's because I haven't played it, and I think she'd really like it. Stupid answer. Job Simulator. You're dumb. But what I would have my mom play, and this is a winner. Actually, I have two my list is just incredible. There's no way you're topping my list. But my second game is Moss, and that's because how can you not love an adorable little mouse? It's not going to make her motion sick. It's an adorable little mouse. It's easy. It's all about the plot. It's not that involved of gameplay, and it's going to make her heart all warm because it's going to be her saving a little mouse. It's going to be wonderful. She's going to like it. It is a beautiful game, and it seems like a game my mom would like, and that's going to be it. And she's after that, then I don't know. See, the thing is too, when we're talking about after we do this, we need to discuss what's the order of the games. Do you throw them in with a super hot, then calm them down with a Moss, or do you start out with something super easy and chill and then throw them into something more involved?
Did you not think about this, Adam? That's what I'm doing. I take something familiar like Tetris and I put that in VR. And then I add a layer on it with a little bit of immersion and Move controller hand tracking with Job Simulator. Or you're just going to throw your mom into super hot and just say, oh, yeah, you punch the guys. That's a way to make sure Sony gets doomed, man. That's a way to doom PSVR into the obscurity of console.
No, because you already ruined your mom because she's like, oh, VR isn't special. I could play this on a flat screen. Oh, actually, this Tetris Effect sucks. Give me the NES version. That's what your mom's going to say. My mom's going to be like, that was her mind exploding.
Aside from how stupidly you presented it, that's actually a salient point that you need to wow somebody with the first game that you show them. So I can concede that about Tetris Effect. However, my mom's personal love for Tetris is going to supersede that, I believe.
Sure, bro. Okay, so Moss is mine. What's your next game?
My next game, my coup de grace, once my mom is used to VR and feeling things and she's ready to play an actual game that's going to require a bit of coordination, I'd throw her into Astrobot. That's one of the friendliest games you could put somebody in. It's very forgiving in its mechanics while not being too easy, and it's completely and utterly charming. I thought like you, I was thinking maybe Moss, maybe that would be the one. It's a bit slower paced, but I think it's got a bit more complex mechanics to it. Whereas Astrobot really guides you every step of the way as to what you're supposed to be doing, telling you to headbutt and use the movement of the DualShock. It doesn't leave you hanging trying to figure out what to do. So yeah, Astrobot would be the one that I would set up and I'd say, Mom, if you're not sold now, you're going to be sold after this. And this is a game you're going to want to play with Dad, and it's a game you're going to want to play with your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, and you're going to write about it in your diary. That's Astrobot.
That's easily your best choice. I think Astrobot is a winner. I think moms are going to love that. It's very clever. Again, it's cute, but yet it's still challenging. It will be addictive. I think, yeah, it's a good game. That's a good one. That, if anything, that should be the one that leads in the three games that you've chosen. But, that's my opinion. I've only had one mom. So... Actually, I have a stepmom, too. So I have two moms. You only have one. I'm smarter at this than you. Put Astrobot first. Okay, so my third game is – here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, and this is why my games are better than you. What do moms love more than anything, Alex? in real life, not being like a sarcastic jerk off.
Their children?
Their children and their family. What's better than playing an immersive game than with your family? That's why I chose Black Hat Cooperative. Boom. You incorporate the family. You incorporate VR. You incorporate puzzle solving. Boom. You have the perfect recipe for success that she is going to hoot and holler for the rest of her days about that night that you played VR, Black Hat Cooperative. You slunk around little halls and dungeons, avoided robots. You ran, you hugged, you cried, you high-fived, and you succeeded. That, my friends, is perfect. And that's not just a one-player game, Alex. Oh, you can rotate among your brothers and your sisters and your aunts and your dad. Or your mom could just go to Little Star if she wants to do something alone. So it has something for everybody. That is why I'm going to hit her with Super Hot to rope her in. Then I'm going to take her with some Moss to show that it's not all, punch people in the crotch and stab them in the throat, and then just reel my entire foot up the rear end. Boom, Black Hat Cooperative, game over. We now have 3 PSVRs in the family.
Adam, that's what I call a deep sleeper. I was not expecting that game to come from you. Black Hat Cooperative. I haven't played it, but what you're describing, what it sounds like to me is a game almost like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where you're working cooperatively, one person looking at the screen. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't have that game, which is why I had to go with Black Hat. But see, you're just stupid. Keep Talking should be in your list, and it's not. Way to suck. Yeah. You just lost a PSVR sale because your mom thought Tetris Effect also sucked, and Astrobot was at the end of your lineup, and she lost interest.
Maybe I missed the whole point of this because as you were talking about Black Hat Cooperative, I was thinking, Werewolves Within, if you can find a decent game of that going, that's something fun for everybody. I think it really shines a light on the multiplayer and the community aspects of VR that don't really get represented very well, but it could be a seller. Anybody playing that game, getting a good 2 or 3 games under their belt, is probably going to want to buy a PSVR and have a good time playing that game. Don't you think?
Dude, I'll play with your mom. Let me know. Okay. I'll talk to her. I'll ask her what pansexual is because I still don't understand.
Maybe the listeners can leave a comment and elaborate for you, or just send us an email.
I totally freaking understand.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for our mom games, our system sellers. If you have an opinion on a game that would be a good system seller, let us know before we actually take our systems home and our PSVR headsets home and have our parents play these games for Thanksgiving. But moving on, Adam, speaking of Thanksgiving comes with Black Friday, and we're recording this a little bit early, so we can't talk about the sales that are going to be out as this release comes out. But we can talk about the Black Friday sales because those have been leaked, and I just want to highlight a couple of them. First of all, everybody knows it. Target's having an awesome PSVR sale. It's $100 off any PSVR bundle. What that culminates in is I think it's $250 for the Creed and Super Hot bundle that comes with Move controllers and a camera. So it's basically everything you need for $250. That's an excellent deal. Adam, are you going to upgrade? Because we're both using version 1 headsets. Are you going to upgrade to version 2 knowing this deal's out there?
I'm not. I'm going to hang on. I'm going to wait for the PS5. I'm going to wait for the PSVR 2, and then I'm going to stand in line for about 16 hours to get it, even though I severely doubt anyone or that many people are going to be in line waiting for it. But I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to play it as soon as I get in my car. I already have the DC outlets. I already have a carrying case for my PS4. I'm going to buy it at the store, go to my car, play PSVR 2. Let's go.
All right. And then we also have another PSVR bundle. We're looking at Moss and Astrobot, and I guess it comes with a camera as well for $200. So that's an excellent deal. You might pick that up and then turn right around. Don't even put the headset on yourself. Put it on your mom. Sit your mom in the chair. You get a whole plate full of leftovers and just watch her try to navigate her way through Astrobot and Moss without any of your guidance because you just bought this. You don't know how it works either. I think that's an excellent deal. But the big deal, GameStop has some crazy deals going on with their systems. I think they're also going to have some of those $250 bundles. But what was surprising is we're getting Astrobot and Creed. You can get at GameStop for $20 each. Those are both great games. Those are both well worth $20. But Adam, I think you're going to be disappointed when you hear about this. You can get Firewall Zero Hour for $10. Now, Adam, you were kind of upset about that game. Do you think it's worth $10? That sounds like an amazing deal to me.
Well, here's the thing. So if you're a listener and you don't have the game, I think you need to buy it for $10. You will never, ever see that game for that cheap again in your entire life. Unless maybe you wait literally 50 years and it's a game that is on free because they've run out of games to put on free, maybe. But that $10 is an incredible deal. Astrobot, again, good deal. Creed, $20, again, a wonderful deal. But here, again, this Tetris Effect is affecting me negatively. But one thing I learned, Alex, is that I need to trust myself. For almost every game, I have an immediate instinct, and I've already talked about this. Tetris Effect, I knew, I was like, it's just going to be Tetris with some pretty backgrounds, and it's not going to be that good. I had my doubts, and then I let the hysteria, and I let the demo, and I let you, and I let the hype get to me, and I bought the game. I knew what it was going to be. I don't like it, and I should have listened to my gut to begin with. That's the same thing that I believe with Astrobot. I'm not buying it for $20 because I believe in my gut, and I know I'm not going to like it. Creed I might like, but that one I'll consider. And a version 2 headsets are cool, but I have all those games that I want, and so the bundle wouldn't be worth it. And Firewall I already have. So there you go.
All right. Well, that's it for the sales, the Black Friday sales that I was able to scrounge up. You know, be careful going out there. We don't want you guys to get trampled because we need to keep these listener counts up and growing. So maybe we'll have some new listeners if people get these headsets. I don't know. That'd be wonderful. But Adam, that's enough about the sales and enough about our moms and enough about these games. It's time to air our grievances, Adam. Do you want to take us off on this one?
Okay, so here's mine. And I've already alluded to it. I didn't realize this. And literally right now, I should have just saved it for here. Is that you can go back 2-3 podcasts from now. And I literally told Alex I was afraid Tetris Effect was going to be just a game. It was just going to be Tetris. And I was, again, like I just said, I got wrapped up in the hype. I don't know why. I'm so disappointed in myself. I don't even know if I'm angry. You know how, like, as a parent, you're not angry, you're disappointed, and that's the deep-seated sadness that you feel as a child, is that they're disappointed in you because they expected more. Well, that I expect more out of myself. I should have known. I mean, I knew what the game was going to be like, and yet I let myself get wrapped up. And I really was. I was all in. It was my fault. I couldn't wait. It wasn't just you, Alex. It wasn't just a particular person, but it was the culmination of I've been waiting for a big game, and I love Rez, and it looked like it could be awesome. And then there was the hysteria of it coming out, and then it was PS4 and PSVR, and so it was even more fanfare behind it because now it includes the entire PlayStation base rather than just a subsector of PSVR. And so I let myself get carried away. I bought it. $40 is a lot of money. Played it. Within the first hour and a half, I realized I made a huge mistake, and that is my grievance. Is that why do I not listen to myself? You know, I'm a relatively young dude, but I've lived long enough that I should have trust in myself on whether I'm going to like something or not. Like, I know, and all the games, almost every game in the PSVR library, I could have told you whether I'm going to like it or not. Obviously, there's some that are going to be mistakes, like Special Delivery. I thought I would like, totally sucked. But this was a big one. This was a big boy, and just like Firewall, I was like, I'll get it because everyone's losing their mind, and I wanted to do a review for the website and stuff. And I got the level. I think maybe I'm level 11. And I promise you, I'm never going to play the game again. Unless, I guess, if you have a huge community night or something. I'm not going to play it because it's not fun. I've decided, and I'm almost certain I'm not going to play Tetris Effect again in my entire life. It's not fun. Honestly, I don't even know if I like Tetris. I probably don't even like Tetris. And then you put the sucky visuals and everything with it, and I don't like Tetris Effect. So I like nothing about that game except the avatars. So right now my grievance is with myself because I should have listened to myself. Listen to your gut. fans. You have an instinct in you on whether you might like a game or not, and especially these big boys that are $40, $50. Listen to it. At least wait for the reviews. I wish I had waited for the reviews even. Watch some gameplay. I got. Please don't get got because it sucks. It's miserable, and I could have done a lot of money, or I could have done a lot of things with that $40, and instead I have a piece of software on another piece of hardware that now is useless to me that I'm going to delete off my PlayStation. So there's my grievance. I wasn't all worked up. Again, I'm more disappointed than angry, but it is what it is.
My grievance this week is you, Adam. It's you. Who are you? Who are you, and what have you done with the Adam that I started this podcast with? Who are you? What have you done with the person who convinced me to get a PSVR, to get hyped for PSVR? What have you done with the person who sent me selfies of them playing Res Infinite, who brought me over to his house to play Rush of Blood and enjoy even the simple games like Proton Pulse or Hollow Ball or Headmaster? We even enjoyed Special Delivery together, Adam. Who are you to think that you are better than Tetris Effect? You know, sometimes they say, you know, if you walk around the whole world and you keep meeting people and you think they're just buttholes, man. You just keep running into buttholes and they're all acting like buttholes. And then maybe you should turn around and realize that, no, maybe you're the butthole, Adam. Maybe you're the butthole. You keep playing these games that are good, and you play these games that are really fun, and everybody's enjoying it, and everybody's saying that they're great and they're having a good time. I'm playing them. I'm saying they're great and I'm having a good time, and you're finding game after game that everybody loves, and you say, nah, it sucks. Adam, maybe the problem is you, man. The problem is you. You need to reignite that passion, dude. You need to find the games that you can love. You need to find Astrobot. You need to play Astrobot. It's only $20 and you're saying you're not going to play it. This is a game that's going to bring you back. Adam, I was talking about introducing my mom to PSVR. I need to introduce you, the new Adam, to PSVR again, all right? We need to bring you back. I need to get you playing Job Simulator. I need to get you in the world of Transpose, start bending time, start bending your mind. I need you to get a controller in your hand and have Astro run around and climb on your DualShock, climb all over your face, get all up in your business so you can fall in love with virtual reality again, Adam. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this podcast, and I'm thankful that we have time that you can fall in love with VR again. But I'm still mad at you. So shut up talking about Tetris Effect. We're done with it. It's an awesome game.
It is not an awesome – okay. Have you ever considered the fact that I've already mentioned this. I think you're just going to like it regardless. Why? Maybe you just can't call it as it is, Alex. I've already told people that I don't trust your opinion. You like everything unless it is absolutely detestable, like Rabbit Hole or Ranch Planet. You had a hard time saying Blind was bad. You wouldn't do it. You had to use the word decent. It's bad. You just can't admit it. And so I think you are blind, man. You are blind more than in that game because they're in self-denial. Maybe you're in either. I don't know which one you're in, but that's my thinking.
Sounds like we're going to leave this podcast torn this week, Adam.
Let's keep it going.
Okay.
I've got a little star for you.
Oh, I can't see it. My eyes are covered with moss. Anyways.
Wait, someone just knocked. Oh, is your mom the headmaster?
Ooh, I'm trying to eat this pizza, but it's super hot. Okay.
Oh, good. Oh, wait, I got something that's really lodged in my rectum. Oh, it's a Tetris Effect.
I don't get it. I don't get it, Adam. I don't get it.
It smells like poop and it's bad.
Flush
it down the toilet. I can't feed my family with that Tetris Effect.
I'm about to disconnect you, Adam. So that's it. That is it for the Thanksgiving episode of PSVR. Everybody, I want to say thanks for listening to us. Thanks for all of the reviews that you read and all the reviews that you leave us on iTunes. I want to say thanks for telling your friends, telling your families, even telling your moms about us. And thanks for letting us do this for you. So please talk to us on Twitter, guys. We love talking to you at PlayPSVR. Please read our reviews on PlayPSVR.com. I talk to people, and they're like, where can I read your reviews? Listen to the podcast. At the end of the podcast, every single time, I tell you where to go to read the review. Watch us on Twitch. Adam plays on Twitch all the time. He's at PlayPSVR. You can join our group on Facebook. Guess what? It's called PlayPSVR. We post our podcast there, too. You can talk to us there. It's great. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Guess what our name is? Play PSVR. Let's have a good time. Leave comments. We'll talk to you. Or you can email us if you want to be secret about it, don't want people to know. Email us, playpsvr@gmail.com. We're thankful for your time. For Adam, I'm Alex, and happy Thanksgiving from playpsvr.com, where virtual reality is our reality.